So before we start today, I want to read you a viewer comment which I have received a while ago, and it goes like this. Can you do a video on the pros and cons of bringing an Indonesian girl back to your home country? I hear it's a big no to bring your Filipina back to your home country, as they will quickly divorce and get a green card. I wonder, are Indonesian women the same? My girlfriend is from the Toba Batak. So for those of you who don't know what is Toba Batak, I have done videos, I've released videos previously. First of all, congratulations if your girlfriend is a Batak girl. Yeah, a Batak, the Batak tribe is one of the many tribes in Indonesia located in Sumatra, on Sumatra Island. So this is the topic of today's video basically. What are the pros and cons of moving or bringing your Indonesian girl or wife, girlfriend, partner, whatever, back to your home country? Should you do it, yes or no? And this is a very, very good question. Thank you for this. And he makes some valid points, because YouTube is full of stories and also videos about exactly that problem. It's a valid concern because it has happened, and I've heard these stories as well, that especially American guys, they got married to a Filipina, brought her back to the States, and then sooner rather than later, they separated, and his wife or girlfriend, whatever it was, woke up with another guy, or hung out with another guy, or got even married with another guy. And this happens. This has happened, and it's of course very, very unfortunate. And why is that? That's a good question, but one reason is definitely that the dynamics definitely then have changed already. You as a Westerner, either in the Philippines or Indonesia, you are the hot commodity there. Yeah, and in Indonesia there are obviously tons of very beautiful and attractive Indonesian women, right? Millions, tens, hundreds of millions, tens of millions, in a certain age group. And how many Western foreigners you have in Indonesia? Not so many, right? The ratio is very small. So you are the hot commodity, 100%. Now, let's say I'm from Germany, as some of you might know, and I decide to bring my girlfriend, my Indonesian girlfriend, or even wife, back to Germany. Then of course the dynamics have changed. Then she will be the hot commodity, because I'm certainly not the only German man who is attracted to these exotic, feminine, beautiful Indonesian or Southeast Asian women. There are plenty of German men inside of Germany who have been traveling to Indonesia or Thailand or the Philippines. They know exactly what's going on there. So yeah, there are definitely more men who are interested in these women. But now my girlfriend, my partner, would be the hot commodity. And this is the thing then. And this is what happened to other, especially the American guys, with their Filipinas. Suddenly they have a lot of admirers, And this also can happen with your Indonesian partner when you bring her home to your Western countries, to these Western countries. Certainly the possibility cannot be ruled out. Yeah, that's what I want to say. Now, for myself, I've never brought back an Indonesian girl to my home country, because I never married one, not yet. But I also never transplanted back or brought back an Indonesian girlfriend of mine back to Germany to live there permanently. So I do not have the experience, but based on my humble opinion and experience, I would claim that Indonesian women in general would not tend to run away from their partners. In my experience, Indonesian women are very loyal women and less opportunistic. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm not saying that Filipinas are not loyal at all or absolutely opportunistic. I'm not saying that, but in my experience, Indonesian women are really, really loyal. And it's hard for me to imagine that, things like that can happen. But of course, they can happen somehow, right? Most of the couples I know, the Western man and Indonesian wife, Indonesian woman, they're still happily married, but most of them, they actually live in Indonesia and they are not living in any Western country. This is my circle of acquaintances and my circle of friends. And honestly, I do not know of any Indonesian man or woman here in Germany. Yeah. So, but people are living here, of course, and they're also married to German guys, and they might live here. So, but again, I strongly would advise against bringing your Indonesian partner back to your home country. And why is that? And I will give you the pros and cons of bringing back your girl to your home country. Before I start with the cons, I want to let you know that I have released 2 videos already regarding this topic, because it's an important topic. Also to understand the psyche of Indonesian women in particular. I have released a while ago a video, the title is Indonesian Women Hate Western Countries, True or False? I've released that a few weeks ago, and about 6 months ago or something like that, I have released another video where the title is Why Indonesian Women Don't Like to Live in Western Countries. And that video was very successful, especially with Indonesian people, but especially Indonesian women also. And just by reading through the comment sections, I learned so much about how Indonesian people tick and think and how they feel. And if you just would watch these 2 videos, you will already then, after watching them, understand much more and way better why it's maybe not such a good idea to bring or transplant your Indonesian girl back to your Western country. But just for the sake of explaining here a little bit again, I want to give you the main points, what I find is really, really important to consider, why you should not move your girl away from her home turf. And this is also the reason why actually some of the Indonesian women, we don't know exactly, is it just some or is it many, but many Indonesian women maybe are afraid of dating Western men exactly because of that reason. They are afraid that this Western guy then will take her and separate her from her known environment, her friends, family, everything, even her famous and favorite food, and will bring her to America, to Europe, you know. And many women really don't like that. They maybe want to date Western men, they're curious, I've mentioned this so many times in other videos, but they're really afraid, and at the end of the day, this is one reason they not start to date Western men. This is for them, it's no option, you know. also in Indonesian culture and society, the family plays a big role, and also the parents still have a big say in the things. It's not like in our Western countries where we decide what we do. You know, we in our cultures, also in the German culture, is if I want to do something, I do it anyway. I would maybe tell my mom, I would let her know, I inform her, and regardless of her opinion or advice, I would do it anyway. So that's the dynamics in the Western world, right? But again, yeah, these women would be separated then from their family and friends, their familiar environment, culture and food. And this is something very serious for them. Also, they know they would have to learn a new language. Yeah, the climate is different, and most of the Western countries is way colder, you know. And then also the mentality of the people. This is something I learned many Indonesian people actually suffer from, who live abroad, who live outside of Indonesia, who live in the States, who live in Australia, who live in Germany or in Italy or even in Japan. Indonesian, not only Indonesian women, Indonesians in general, but Indonesian women also, they suffer from that different mentality. Yeah, and then also what they want to do in these foreign countries, so they would need a job to support themselves, right? Unless they marry a very rich husband. So these are basically the cons why I would say not to transplant your girl back to your home country. And what would be the pros? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't really know, to be honest, other than of being together, yeah, in a Western country. But you can also be that in Indonesia. And I wonder why so many mixed couples, why so many Western foreigners who married Indonesian women, why they're actually living inside of Indonesia. I wonder why. I can just assume. So, but what I think is that if you really want to move your girl to your home country, then of course you would need to discuss this, right? You and her on eye level, and you really need to weigh the pros and the cons, right? You need to analyze everything, yeah, and you would hopefully ask yourself also and consider your own wants and needs. What do you want? What does your partner want, right? What does she need? What are your values? What do you value? And these things all would influence your decision whether to move back to a European or Western country, right? You would need to consider your goals, your ambitions, your preferences, right? Your desires, and I don't know your desires. So there is no cookie cutter solution to this whole thing. You also would need to ask yourself the question, yeah, do you want, what kind of job do you want to do, or your partner wants to do in this Western country? Does she want to make career? Is money important for you? Would that be the main motivator to move back to a Western country? So I don't know your personal situation. I don't know. All I know is that many Indonesian women, yes, they move abroad and they work abroad, and there are at least hundreds of thousands of Indonesian overseas workers working in different countries: Taiwan, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, the Middle East, Dubai, Qatar. They all work there, but they just do it for making money and supporting their family. And as soon they feel that they have supported enough, then they are happy to return back to Indonesia. Yeah. So, but I also know of guys who somehow cannot leave their job, let's say in America. Yeah, they have a great position there, and so they do some construction work right now. Anyway, I will continue with this video. So there are people, for example, in America, I know of one guy who has a very good job over there. And so I had to change location quickly here because of the construction noise which is going on upstairs here. I was discussing the American guy who is in the States, who has a very high position, very well paid. He cannot leave his job. So I can understand. And that then needs to be discussed with his partner, obviously. But what would be another pro of moving to a Western country? Yeah, maybe it's the infrastructure, you know. The Western countries tend to have better infrastructures. It's still the case, but you can also see the infrastructure already deteriorating in some Western countries, but this is a topic for another video. The logistics, yeah, and maybe the amenities, maybe this is something you don't want to give up as a Westerner, you know. For example, I'm still currently here in Germany, in Berlin. Berlin has an excellent public transportation system, yeah. It's really world class. You don't find that in Indonesia, yeah. Things like that, the infrastructure, the logistics, the amenities. Perhaps you are planning to have children. Do you want your kids to grow up in a Western country with a Western education system? Do you think the Western education system is better for your children? Do you also think that maybe the healthcare system in Germany or in America or in Canada or in Australia is better and safer for you? Yeah, so these are all things to consider before making the move. There's always, I think, a trade-off anyway, but or maybe you are somebody who is okay with skipping all these Western amenities and infrastructure and logistical nice things, you know. Maybe you are more a guy who wants a more relaxed lifestyle, you know, more slow-paced. Someone who is still ambitious, though, who wants to make a business, open up a business. And most of the Western guys I know who are married to Indonesian women, they run businesses. They either run small hotels or restaurants and stuff like that, you know. So maybe you are someone who is who loves warm weather, who loves the tropicals, right? Who loves a lot of nature, and maybe you are in love with Indonesian food, and maybe you prefer more friendlier people. And also very important, the lower cost of living. Yeah, maybe you want to have farmland. You want to buy land or lease or rent land in Indonesia together with your future partner, your wife. Who knows? I'm certainly one of these guys who prefer Indonesia because of all the reasons just mentioned here. That's for me. And I don't want to live in Western countries. That's not my ambition. That's not my goal. It's not my dream at all. And yeah, to conclude this video, you have to really look. So should you bring your Indonesian girl to a Western country? Yes or no? I wouldn't do it, me personally. I wouldn't do it because my intention is clear. I want to live in Southeast Asia, in Indonesia, for example. I can imagine very well to live there until the end of my days. And so if I would meet a woman, an Indonesian girl who states clearly that her goal is to move permanently to some Western country and live there and work there forever, then this girl is not for me, because we have different goals. You know, if I want to, let's say, marry an Indonesian woman, then she must want to stay permanently in Indonesia. So I'm ruling already out the other kind of girls. And other than that, it's a case-by-case basis. You need to discuss it with your partner. Yeah, you need to look at your specific wants and needs and desires. And that's all I can say here in this video. But again, I would not advise to move your girl out of Indonesia, even though she would follow you, because as a loyal woman, as they are very loyal women. I mentioned this already. They would follow you, but they would leave their heart in Indonesia, and even she would not show it to you so clearly, but very deep inside she would suffer, and she will suffer. And I don't know if this is something you want for your wife or your partner. I mean, at the end of the day, you want both to be happy, hopefully, right? And both of you should back up this decision. Whatever decision you make, both of you should back it up 110%, right? So again, I look carefully at this case-by-case thing here. And then thanks for watching, and I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Looking forward to your comments. Take care. Bye-bye.